Hey, here we go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pin and Dragon.
Episode 3.
We need to get better at this intro. We've got to figure out this whole intro thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We're all three together finally. Let's
Finally.
go around and introduce everyone.
All right.
Start it off, Isaac. Well, never mind. Start off, Mike.
As I take a drink of water,
Also,
I'm
I'm the only one
Isaac
not
Anderson. Yeah, Mike, you go first. Come
All right.
on.
I'm
Get
Mike.
the ball.
Yeah, I'm Mike Cahoon. I'm an indie author. I released my first book last year, dark fantasy. Live in Atlanta, firefighter. There you go. Let's run down fast as possible.
Pretty good. Tim, you have to beat his time.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm long-winded. Timothy Robert, author of Tales of Battle. Flame of Alamandra is coming out if you like dragons. Just released my novella, Fated Nights. Also a poet. Just finished a Spartan race this weekend, so I'm going to show it off. And podcaster, YouTuber person now.
Nice. We're all technically YouTubers now. I'm Isaac Anderson. I'm the author of A Song of Bones in the Garden Maze. I live in Miami, and we do little podcasts. This is Pin and Dragon. This is a little indie author news show. We're going to talk about some fun things going on, some interesting things going on, and some controversial things going on. So I think the first thing on the docket is last week I saw, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, Christopher Polini said some fun things on Twitter that I think it'd be fun to kind of dig into.
Mike, you spelled your own name wrong. And Mike is also an author, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like what authors do. We spell things wrong all the time.
We do. We are notorious for typos.
That's what you need editors for.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Isaac. Kick it off because I don't know much about it.
I don't know what kicked off this conversation with him. I guess he was just thinking about this one day. He tweeted, and I quote, "Some days I'm tempted to go back and take another pass on Eragon, but then I think I'd rather write news stories. Even so, the temptation is there." That is a very fun idea. It's a very interesting idea. How do you guys feel? Because I know that Tolkien very famously did this with The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Go first, Mike. You read it, right?
Eragon? Yeah, I've read all of Eragon.
Yeah, I haven't, so I'm interested to hear your take first.
So Eragon is an interesting one because it was written by a teenager for teenagers, right? Mm-hmm. And now you're talking about that was kind of the charm of it. And really, you're talking about an adult going back and rewriting a teenager series. And I get the inclination. I get why he would consider doing it. Because, I'm sure he's got however many decades more of experience as a writer now. I'm sure looking back
tougher now too. He's like a bodybuilder.
Yeah. Did you see the sword fight that he had at like Dragon Con or whatever that was?
No.
Oh yeah. He had a sword fight with some other author. I can't remember who.
Oh, I did see that. That's like
yeah.
That was actually pretty cool. But keep
cool.
Going on the main point.
But no, I mean,
don't get distracted.
That's gonna be hard to do in this podcast. It's kind of the modus operandi, right? But no, yeah, I get the inclination, but I think it's hard when you're talking about something that was written. A big part of the appeal was that it was a teenager, and you're reading it as most of us read it as teenagers, and we said,
yeah,
oh, it's amazing. Someone my age wrote this, or someone somewhat close. So I don't know if it would be the best move, honestly. And I think kind of what he's doing now, he wrote a sequel book or like a spin-off called Murtaugh.
Yeah, Murtaugh.
And I feel like that's probably a better move, personally.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna say too, as someone that didn't read it, was it would almost make more sense to do almost like an adult version in the same world, but not rewrite the same book. Because obviously I've never read it, like I said, but I know
mhm,
of it. Everybody knows of it, especially it's like one of the main dragon books that you know. It's probably one of the main reasons dragon books are popular. I don't know.
For
But
sure.
to me,
Mike
like you
Mike was
said,
bored reading Eragon apparently. He
Mike's
just
still
picked.
reading everything. I don't think there's a book that Mike Molman actually likes besides his own. Um, um, Love you, Mike. I do think I agree with you, and I haven't read it, which is funny. I think if you went
Yeah.
back for a very popular book and changed it, then it would not have the same appeal. It wouldn't have the same vibe that it has now. And I think as someone, I mean, out of the three of us, I wrote Tales of Battle 1 in 2016, 2017. That's a long time ago. My writing has changed, so I understand the desire looking back at my book being like, I want to go back and redo the whole thing because I'm so much better now than I used to be. But, like, at
Yeah,
some point,
yeah,
you don't wanna get trapped in that, I don't think. I mean, he can because he's super famous and rich and
yeah.
everybody loves him, so it doesn't matter. But,
Well, Polini listed in a different tweet. He was kind of talking about this for a little bit. He mentioned two other authors who have actually done this. He mentions Tolkien and he mentions Stephen King, who reworked the first Dark Tower book at some point. And both of those, like Tolkien with The Hobbit and Stephen King with The Dark Tower, they didn't go back because, oh, stylistically I'm different. They went back because, oh, I need to set up this thing
Yeah.
that's important in this next thing. And I didn't think about that when I wrote the first book. So I
Yeah.
wonder if he's approaching it from that perspective. Like, oh, there's this cool thing that I wish I'd set up in book one that I did not.
maybe,
So I
but at the
don't know
same
if he
time,
means that or if he means stylistically he would do things differently.
I feel like probably both, but I feel like at the same time, anything that Tolkien did, we probably shouldn't try to redo because none of Tolkien was also very known to be, like, messy. Not messy in, like, our version, but, like, messy in his world building was so complex and all over the place, like, we all know that.
Right.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
the reason for him going back and redoing stuff also has to do with books and pages upon pages of craziness before all of our technology existed. So to me, that's a little bit different. Stephen King, I'm not a Stephen King fan, but also crazy prolific. I mean, his diligence and everything is pretty
Yeah.
unparalleled, I think.
So
Well, Tolkien was like the Tolkien example is interesting because when he did that was like in I think the when did he change the Hobbit? Was that the 50s or the 60s when he changed the Hobbit?
I think it was actually like the 60s, actually. I might
Because
be
this
wrong.
this wasn't like going through and updating ebook files or it wasn't
Right.
going through like databases. This was like we are out of copies of the Hobbit. We need to print more copies of the Hobbit. He's like, "Oh, I should make a quick change to these new copies."
Right.
Let
It's
me go
kind of
get my
it was a different
typewriter.
world. Yeah.
You know, one thing I did want to say too is, I mean, let's be real. Aragon is pretty derivative, and I think when you look at it as written by someone who's a teenager, again, writing it for teenagers,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
totally
it
fine.
doesn't yeah, not every book needs to be a masterpiece.
Right.
Every book needs to be entertaining and fun, and I think Aragon accomplishes that.
Right.
Even though it does kind of the same things that other books also do.
Well,
Um,
I was gonna say, if it's, if you go back now and rewrite it, and you have all these years of experience and all this stuff, it's not gonna be the same thing. It's not gonna be this kid writing it, and you can kind of hand wave away all of
yeah,
the very clear, you know, uh, the very clear influences and all that, and being derivative and all that. He would really need to change the story so much to make it something different.
yeah.
And then
And
how much
I
different do
mean,
you make something that you already made? Like, how much different do you make something, and how does that translate to the
right,
audience? I mean,
well, I would view it as just make it a new draft. For
yeah,
writing Song of Bones, I wrote that several times. Each time was completely different. So, but I never published those early versions.
right,
If I had, then I'd be stuck with them. Uh, one one of the reasons why I kind of dragged my feet putting out the first book for Song of Bones was I was like I have to commit to this to
yeah,
these decisions and I can't add things later. Um, so it was interesting that first experience, that first feeling of, okay, I have locked this down in this world. It's published, it's out, I can't change it. Short of fixing typos and new additions.
Right.
I'm not changing anything from the story.
I mean, Tales 1, I kinda did that. I had, like, 4 beta readers for the first book, and they were like, "It's
Mhm.
missing something, it's doing this," and I was like, "Man," and I went back and I added a whole 'nother part of the world, totally redid it, but that's all pre-publishing. If I
Right.
Yeah,
would never
yeah,
go
yeah,
back
yeah.
and maybe I'll go back and take things out or implement a couple things I know going forward. But I mean, now I've done Tales 5, so looking back, I've seen the transition in how I view the world and how it impacts my writing, so I can only imagine writing something as a teenager, how you
Mhm,
look at
mhm.
it then versus how you look at it now, and how it reflects on you, but it doesn't reflect bad on him. Everybody knows him because of it, so
Right.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think it's enormously encouraging, especially to aspiring writers, to read early works written by authors and they aren't as polished. Like, oh, this is where he started. Oh,
Yeah.
this is where I
Sure.
know him from. So I think having that out there is a very special thing. Um, I really wish that George Lucas still had those original versions of Star Wars because we could see, all those old effects and how they did things. And but he was he would do the he did the Tolkien thing where he would go through and he added little things here and there, and that's fine. It's his project, but I wish those old things were still there, were available somewhere.
Yeah.
right.
That would be
For me,
really
if
cool.
it was terribly flawed, it'd be different, right? If it had a bad reception, if it wasn't still perceived as one of the great dragon novels, if it wasn't still perceived to be like, "Hey, this is Aragon, everybody has it on their bookshelf," type of thing, then
Hmm, hmm.
yeah, maybe, but it almost to me would be purposeless. Maybe not purposeless in him. I mean, as an author, we don't know. We all have our different views of our own work, and I
Right.
Yeah.
understand, but, like, how much does polish versus just a good story go? That's a question we as indies ask ourselves all the time, like, does this have to be perfectly polished? Are the elites gonna be like, "Hey, this doesn't match up to Tolstoy level stuff," which most likely it's not going to, and it's not meant to. But, like, how
Mhm.
much does it have to be polished and perfect, or how good does the story have to just be? And that to me is interesting. That's an interesting topic as far as this goes, as far as Aragon goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else that I wonder about, I wonder if he's got this notion to kind of rewrite Aragon because Dragon Rider fantasy has become so popular lately.
That's what
Like
I
if
was
he,
I think it's because he's working on scripts for his Disney Plus
uh,
series. I think that's kind of what he's where his mind is. He's
mm.
writing scripts for the TV show. He's like, oh, I'm making improvements in the TV show. I wish were in the book. So I wonder if that's also where he's kind of living.
I could see that, but to me, as someone that didn't read it, and I mean, as also as an 8th grade teacher, I know that kids don't read really, but the ones that do read, which I did have one, she read every single day. She would not even listen to me in class, and she would read, and I was like, "Whatever, you're reading a book. It's fine."
Mhm.
And she passed all her tests, so I don't care. But my point is that like Mike said, having a book, first of all, it's good enough to publish, and that's good enough, and that's written by a teenager that teenagers can kind of like see themselves in that, opposed to us writing about a teenager, which is vastly different, regardless of how we go about it, no matter how good we are at it. There's a certain feeling that I think you can get from someone at that time in life that it gives. And I think
Mhm.
it would change that feeling for a teenager. And like I said, just write another side novel that's 20 years later or whatever that reflects you and it'll reflect purposely perfectly. And I think that would be super cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I read Aragon as a teen, and it was very important. It was a big pillar in my formative years. I feel like, so he definitely wrote something specifically for me, if
yeah.
at that time.
Uh,
So,
I felt the same way.
like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I could. What if a book really grabs me? I'll find myself. I'll read a section where something happens, and I'll kind of freeze, and I'll think, okay, if I was in the situation, what would I do? What would I say? If I find myself doing that in a story, you've got your hooks in me. And Aragon had me doing that throughout the entire story, just imagining I was there in that world and just having fun with that. So I'm pretty sure with his new Aragon stuff, he's definitely going back in that world, writing a more mature version of it. And he's definitely,
Yeah.
enjoying himself. But yeah, that's a fun thing to do. I guess a fun position to be in, where
Oh,
you
yeah.
can go through and rework your book a little bit for a new medium, and looking at the old thing, like, I bet I can make you a little bit better with not that much extra effort.
Did you
Yeah.
read it as a teen too, Mike?
Sorry.
Did you read it as a teenager too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you both feel like, because once again I didn't read it, do you both feel like it would come across different from an adult? Because you both write. So do you
Right.
Oh
feel like,
yes. Oh
okay,
yes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
because
That's.
that's important. If
I
you
think.
even know that without even like, without going through it, then that's important, right, for the novel.
I think that was the biggest. Honestly, like I think that was the biggest selling point, and one of the reasons Eragon became such a hit. When it did, was because it was a novel, and at the time you got to remember it was also there wasn't a lot of indie novels back in the day. Indie novels weren't even really a thing unless you were talking about people paying to publish their own memoir or something like that.
Well,
So
Wool was a thing, and I think The Martian was a thing around the same time as Eragon.
Martian was indie?
Oh yes.
yeah,
Martian was published on a website.
Did not know that. Okay.
And the
Yeah.
people who loved it, like, could you please make an ebook so this is easy to read? Because they're just scrolling through the website reading it.
Huh. Did
And he was
not
like,
know
oh,
that.
I guess they go to Kindle. And he
So
self-published
how
on
long was
Kindle, and
Eragon self-published before it became trad published? Because it's
not
trad
very
published.
long.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Yeah.
They started. I think they started going to book signings at like little bookstores and
Wow.
like libraries and coffee shops, and they were selling like crazy because he had a fun cover. Well, I think what really set him apart. I loaded in the cover. We can look at it. His I don't think this is the original cover. Is this? I think the original cover was just an eye, right? Or was
Yeah, it was something like that. It was a different cover.
okay. Because
Um,
I know that his father did the cover.
yeah.
He spent
Really?
weeks in Photoshop just making a dragon's eye.
Wow.
And
So to this point, I remember when I first heard about Eragon, the very first time I heard about it, it was at either a bookstore or like a Scholastic sort of thing. And they made a big deal about the fact that like this teenager self-published this book. At that point,
Yeah.
it was probably already picked up by a trad publisher, but the story is what they were selling of, there's this kid that published this book, you should read it.
What if he never grew up? Could you rewrite it then? You mean if Pellini never grew up?
I mean, he still would have changed after that amount of time. I mean, did he ever really grow up? He's still sword fighting at
If
Comic-Con.
Pellini was Peter Pan, I think he would have different problems than worrying about his book not aging well.
That's true. And did it not age well? I mean, people still talk about it. It must have aged well.
Yeah, Alexa, the sequel was read.
The sequel, yeah.
The next book was read. Eldest?
Brisinger? Wasn't that
one
one
was
of them?
gold. That one was gold.
Oh, okay.
See, I've only seen the special editions, which are fantastic. I'm not even a big special edition
very
person.
pretty.
They are crazy good. But I think now probably time to move on to some indie drama pertaining to us. Well, pertaining to the indie world, not to us specifically. Thank God. We were not lumped into this. But well, we know that, Mike. That's why you're
Mike
gonna
is forever young at heart.
Yes, that's true. So there was some indie drama where I don't remember her name, but she posted a video calling out 67, almost 70 indie authors for using AI without any background, such as Matt Falcon, Cal Logan, along with a bunch of other authors that we all know. First of all, we know they're artists because a lot of these indies, they very, very much honest about their artist. They put their artists in their books. Cal Logan tags his artists all the time. So for him to get caught up in it was crazy because I even commented because he posted and I was like, "You got caught up in this? How?" Oh, that's cool.
Tim, your Game of Thrones nerd out is working. You should talk more about Game of Thrones, for goodness sakes.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Welcome to the channel.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining. But yeah, first of all, Cal's artist kills it. He's a popular artist. Matt Falcon also has a pretty well-known artist in the indie world.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to get called out is pretty wild. And the reaction to the video was interesting. The discords were blowing up.
Yeah.
The person that posted its reaction was interesting, and this was everywhere. This was in almost every group I was in was getting spammed with it. It was pinging all over X,
So
Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
was this this was like a video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Like
was a
someone made a video
video
of saying this person, this person, this person does AI?
naming 60 something authors about the use of AI, whether it's in their writing or
Okay.
in their cover.
Was this person an author? Did this person have
As far as
books?
I know, yes, because they're in
Okay.
multiple author Discord groups, and
Okay.
they said they had an elite team or whatever looking at it, which probably means they put it through an AI processor, which makes no sense to me, honestly. Um,
Yeah.
and as anybody that knows the drama, the video got taken down in like I think 20 minutes. 'Cause I had messaged Mike, and Mike was like, "I can't find the video," and I was like, "Dude, it's gone. It got taken down
Yeah.
so fast." And so
Wow.
my question, and you guys are going to have a lot to say about this, I'm sure. My question before you get into it is an apology even acceptable at that point? If you are blatantly going at your peers, if you are trying to damage careers, and if you have no actual evidence, and you're taking down, first of all, some pretty big popular names, I would say, and these popular names who name their artists, and we all know their artists, is saying I'm sorry even enough? Is it even worth it? And does it matter at that point? Because that's the kind of damage you can't really take back.
Yeah, if you go on the warpath like that, I don't know what the motivation was. If the motivation was just to get views, then I think she succeeded. But then maybe she
I don't know.
succeeded too much and realized, oh, whoops. Like maybe like benefit of the doubt, maybe she really honestly was worried about the AI stuff, and she just found a bunch of covers that to her looked like AI. Because oftentimes I'll see digital art, and it isn't like very good. Um, I can tell someone did it. To the untrained eye, you may not be able to tell. So she might have been trying to do some good, but then she realized, oh, whoops, I named some real people, and she took it down because of that. So yeah, I mean, and
I mean,
apologizing is a start. If you want to apologize, I don't know what her motivation is.
I mean, to Tim's point that he said, at the end there, you got to think about how much damage she could be potentially doing, weighed against how much effort she actually put in. It's like, is she said she ran it through an AI checker or had an elite team or something, but it's
Experts,
like,
elite team, yeah.
yeah, but it's like, you've seen in response to that video, people putting up videos of their covers being created.
Mhm.
So they're clearly not AI. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert in AI or anything like that, but I feel like if you're going to make a video like that where you're just taking shots at people in the community, you really got to do your homework and you really got to come with receipts
Yeah.
and stuff.
And
I
how
don't know why
dangerous
you
is
would
it?
want to take shots though.
Well, because people
It's
want to.
kind of
I mean, we all know as indie authors, there's always people that want to drag other indies down to come up. That's a human thing, right?
yeah.
There's always some people that are like, well, I'm not getting there and they're getting there. So let me rip on them and tug their shoestrings to climb up their backs. And
Maybe a
sadly, that's the truth.
thing.
Huh?
I mean, uh our customers are readers. And from my experience, readers don't care if your cover's AI or not. Other authors care, other artists care. So I mean, you could cause damage to the writing community at large, but I don't think you're going to cause much damage to people buying their book.
A lot of readers are starting to care actually. On Threads specifically, a lot of
I've seen
readers that
that.
aren't even authors are coming out and caring. They want
Right.
artist-driven covers because I think people are starting to see that AI can be damaging to them beyond
Mm.
our spectrum. But
Well,
like Mike was saying, when I mentioned damage done, it goes beyond just the video, right? It goes, well, then is everybody going to question these authors? Is everybody going to start deep diving and be like, oh, maybe they did use AI, and it's going to be stained on them no matter what. Even the ones that we know they do artists, we know there's no generative AI, we know that they're, good people, they're artist people, they're art first. There's still going to be that little bit of sticker there that's like, maybe.
yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, you look. I mean, look at we're all in the indie community, and people have been trying to figure out how to deal with AI for a couple of years now. I mean, it's been a major deal for a while, and people are calling for all sorts of different things. Some people are wanting platforms to ban AI books. Some people are wanting to ban AI covers. Contests don't let you enter if you have AI in your book. I mean, like you said, there are some readers that won't read your book or touch your book at all if it's AI. I mean, it could potentially cause a lot of problems, especially for someone new. Going back to like our previous topic, talking about Paolini, he had a cover that came out. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before for a sci-fi book that he did. That it turned out he had AI in the cover, but he didn't know about it. Mm-hmm. And he had a big enough platform where he was able to say, "I had no idea." My publishing company did this, and then he withdrew it and he came out with a new cover. But if you're someone with no voice and you're some brand new indie author, or even like someone just with a small audience, and you get accused of something, well, you can't really defend yourself in that same way, so
well, and how damaging is a witch hunt to the community anyway? I mean, how far do we? Everybody knows I'm very anti-generative AI. Everybody knows that. I'm very clear about it, but I never hunt for people and I never try to rip people down. I don't use it in my promotions. I don't use it in anything, but I'm not going to go after my peers because first of all, we're professional, or we're supposed to be professionals. So this was something that we talked about in a different Discord group, was professionalism versus unprofessionalism. Readers are seeing your post. Your colleagues are seeing your post. So that unprofessionalism trickles down whether we know it or not. You can't be just out here arguing all the time. You can't be calling people out and shooting shots, especially not at almost 70 authors. That's crazy. You're going at a whole platoon of people. And at that point, like I asked, I don't think the apology matters. It's nice to apologize, sure, but you went out there with a specific purpose that you failed. That's like going out with a gun, being like, I'm going to shoot someone, and then being like, oh shit, I got caught with the gun in the air and now I'm screwed. Like, does your apology really matter?
Yeah. I mean, I think if she had come out and said, I have all this proof, it would have been a complete, and truly had a lot of research and could go through every single cover and show you what it was. That'd be a different.
If she was smart, she could have milked this for weeks.
Oh yeah,
she could have had all the views.
But I mean, that would have been a very different circumstance. This was, I mean, it felt very much like shooting from the hip, and not considering what damage you might be doing, or what the ramifications of what you're doing. Is like record a video on your phone and just hope for the best. Throw it out there.
And the response wasn't even outrage. The response from a lot of the people was just sadness, right? A lot of these people were like, what did I do? How did I get in this? Like, why are you coming at me? Which is actually crazier. Yeah. You would expect people to be like, I'm going to fire back. You're going down. But people were like, what are you doing? Why are you coming after us? This is my artist. Go ahead and look. And that's
a couple of people were pissed.
Yeah, a couple. But I mean, overall, the community was less pissed than normal and more like, what the hell is this? Why?
Yeah.
And I will say, actually, it was nice to see a lot of the community defend a lot of the community. Yeah. That was cool to me. I know there's been a lot of community bickering, indie issues, but it was nice to see the community overwhelmingly, for the most part, be like, hey, this is not cool. This is not okay. Like, you can't be doing this. I think it's cool to see the overall community put a foot down on something and be like, no, we're not going to accept that kind of behavior.
Yeah. So I think, is the takeaway then that we need someone to all universally come together and hate? Just hate the whole indie author community. Oh. We just need a new boogeyman.
If we just had an enemy.
That's basically
maybe we could use AI to make the perfect enemy we'd all be so angry with.
That's basic humanity, right? But I think on the topic of AI, Mike, you're the one that knows about, was it Shy Girl?
Oh yeah. So Shy Girl was.
I heard about this. Was on the national news even.
It did make it
big. It was a big thing.
Yeah. So Shy Girl was a book that was actually released and in stores and all that by Hachette Publishing, which is one of the top 5 big 5 publishers. And then because of the AI accusations against it, it was pulled from publishing, which is crazy.
Was there actual AI used? Because I
think they did. I'm pretty sure they did prove that there was AI used in it.
They did. I remember that much. I do remember I remember skimming an article about it being proven, which is why they took it down. If there wasn't,
I remember reading things saying there was still some question whether or not, because the tools they use to prove there is AI, and AI looks at Shakespeare and says there's 18% chance this is made by AI. So, I mean,
I think something came out with them. Now I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna let you guys ramble for a second. I'm gonna look.
Well, you know, we're all living on the dead internet already, so allegedly
everyone's fake.
Everyone's
all
fake.
Our viewers are fake.
we're all AI.
The evidence that the text was largely AI generated. It's considered the first instance of commercially published Big Five author having AI generated content and removing it due to that. So not just accusations. The New York Times analyzed the novel with several different detection tools and found consistent patterns generated. So,
yeah, and New York Times, they love using AI to write their articles.
I know. So for them to follow that,
they know all about it. I don't know. I read that there was some big newspaper that got caught. Like there was an article written, and then it was like, if you'd like to learn more about this, you can ask me about it. They left the AI answer at the bottom on the accident.
This is a brand new podcast. You're going to make us some serious enemies, like just out of the gate.
well, let's get
New York Times. I love New York. I love the time. I love everything. I mean, if you guys want to use AI to write stuff, more power to you. I don't care.
Disagreed. New York Times. Don't listen to Isaac. Use humans. Don't be turds. Let's get into
a control piece they analyzed. That's kind of the issue. Control groups don't really work with the AI analysis from what I've seen. Like they've analyzed stuff guaranteed written by humans, and the AI thinks this is AI, and this is human. This is made by people. Oh, okay. Because AI just kind of agrees with you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the big thing about this whole situation with the Shy Girl thing, and then we're talking about the 67 author video, AI seems to be a major issue everywhere in publishing, trad, indie, all over the place. Everybody's trying to figure out how to deal with it, you know?
So from what I'm seeing is that Shy Girl never fully admitted it, but that something about she hired someone herself to edit it, and that is where the AI was supposedly used. So scapegoated a non-named friend, which does. I mean, if I was a judge in court and you were like, well, I didn't do it per se, but like I did hire someone else, so maybe they did 80% of my writing. It sounds pretty guilty. If you can't come out and say,
lawyer, that's what I would tell her to say.
If you can't come out and say, hey, I didn't do it, and like I can prove I didn't do it, that's one thing. But if you can't do that and you're like, well, I don't have any of my early drafts, someone else did it, and like maybe they did put AI in there, that's pretty suspicious. Because I have all my early drafts. I can prove anybody that I wrote it. So like
the poor robots think they're people.
Let's get into our real hot topic before the cover rating then, assuming we have a little bit of time for that. Mike's a little afraid of this one. So as an indie author, where does popularity weigh up against actual good writing? Well, actual good writing is subjective, obviously. But where does like really, really good writing, does that matter as much as popularity, as much as luck? Like these are three, to me, this is a triangle of things. If you can get all the triangle, you're gold. But there are some, I mean, we've all read plenty of authors. There are some that seem to be luck. There are some that hit the jackpot just out of the gate. Doesn't matter.
Paolini.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's a great case. Yeah. Super
perfect
lucky.
Storm.
Super
Perfect
fortunate.
storm.
That's true. And then how much does popularity matter? And we're talking about, a fellow author ripping down other authors. Obviously that puts you pretty far down in the popularity rating. And we know as indies, there is clicks. To say there's not clicks would be silly. There are some authors that are held up at higher standards, some lower standards, some that are raised by the masses. And so does popularity outweigh good writing? Do they go together? What do you guys think?
I'll be honest. I mean, I think as an indie author in today's market, I would say popularity matters at least as much as good writing. I mean, if you're one of those, if you happen to get super lucky and your book gets picked up by some huge name who skyrockets your, visibility, that's one thing. But I mean, if you're just in the trenches with the rest of us, being popular is a huge deal. At least being popular online in the book spaces. Because I mean, what separates your book? What makes someone pick up your book versus 1,000 other books?
It's charm. I agree with Mike.
It's true.
You gotta use charm.
It's true.
It's
especially with the
definitely a popularity contest. Without a doubt. There is, I think, the most in the trifecta of attributes, the most, if you could grab one, you grab luck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many books that go out that aren't very good that become bestsellers.
It's true.
And it's I don't know if it's luck or if it's like people behind the scenes, pushing it ahead, which I guess is kind of lucky for the author. Yeah, so I think I have principles. So I try to focus on quality more than anything. I try to focus on make sure my writing is good, which is why I write so slowly. I don't get anything done. So I don't know. It's like to be a successful author, you need to be standing out in the field waiting for lightning to strike you.
Well, right. And that's like what we were talking about with Eragon is dragons. Now there's a plethora of dragons. How do your dragons set apart from other dragons? What mythical creature are you going to throw out there to set apart? Vampires, werewolves, how are you going to set these apart? And beyond that, luck of the algorithm. Luck of, oh, people actually see my post. Oh, people saw my TikTok. Oh, I got 20 likes in 10 minutes, so the algorithm will push me.
Yeah.
Which also plays into popularity at the same time. If you're popular, if you're in these discords, if you're in these channels, or if people just like you, they'll share and press like. And that's part of the thing I've been talking about in one of my groups with a close knit of people is when people go on the attack, people are shy to interact with them. That's a killer on social media. If people start weaning away from you, doesn't matter how much push you put out there. If you're unpopular with a lot of your peers or with your readers, you're screwed. Doesn't matter if you have luck. Doesn't matter if you have the best writing to ever exist. And I think if you're really popular, it doesn't even matter if your writing is really that good. Not that you can't be a good writer, but I don't think
you need to be above gruel.
Right.
So
as long as you're above that, I think you could make it based on popularity and luck.
Right. Par. As long as you hit par.
The way I look
No, not even par.
The way I look at it is I always feel like, people always talk about the importance of a great cover, a great blurb. Oh, we lost him.
Oh, we died on Mike's. Didn't want to hear what Mike had to say.
Both of you accused the other of dying. It was very fun to see.
No, so I was just saying. So they say the importance of a great cover, a great blurb, good writing, all those things. I feel like that's kind of the minimum. You need to have an eye-catching cover if you want to sell books. You need to have a great blurb, and then on top of that, you also have to be able to market yourself and get people, like Tim was saying, to like, share, subscribe, do all these things. So you have to be able to set yourself apart from everybody else who's also showing up with a great cover and a great blurb and at least passably written book.
Right. Well, I've read a multitude of, not a ton of indies at this point, but I've read quite a few of our peers. And some of them fly totally under the radar. People aren't even buying their books and reviewing them. And I think they're some of the best books I've ever read, trad indie aside. Meanwhile, some people are going crazy over some books and I read them and I'm like, and this is personal opinion, of course. It's not, I'm not gold. I'm not the gold standard. So, but to me, those books were either underwhelming or like, I didn't understand quite why they're as popular as they are. Meanwhile, these books, and some of that's popularity and some of it's luck. And some of it comes down to, all three of us are in a Discord where a group where we talk about this, where some people just don't want to show themselves. And we live in a time where people really take face value very importantly. Showing yourself, putting yourself out there, doing these.
That's a great comment.
That's beautiful. For our audio listeners, Juicy just made a funny joke. I'm not going to pretend to. Someone pronounced the word.
Schrodinger.
Thank you. Schrodinger's Mike and Tim. Very,
You
very
just added
funny.
a whole nother D and I in there.
I find if I know I can't pronounce the word, if I add some little extra things in there, make it seem like I'm on purpose not pronouncing the word, I get by.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And you have the right tone for humor. Okay, so should we get into Mike's covers then? Because he's got multiple of them for us today. So you guys
I have one final thing to say.
Go ahead.
I think in the world of writing, of indie publishing, of trad publishing, and talking about luck and skill and what was the other one? Third one? Luck, skill,
Popularity.
and popularity. I think there is a fourth one that I think is I think is more important than luck. I think it's consistency. If you put out 20 books in 10 years, you're head and shoulders above all the other indie people who put out maybe 2 and they go, that was fun. And then they dip out.
Yeah.
So I think if you're consistent, I mean, it might take you 15 years to say, oh, my books paid the electric every month. Because you have so many that just bing, 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 bing across the internet. You need to have the volume of, I don't like saying content, but you need to have things for people to buy and to have that kind of authority. Like, here's my stack of books. That gives you a lot of panache.
That's a really good point.
Kind of, but some of the indies that sell the most that I see when they do all this transparency posts and stuff are people with 1, 2, and 3 books. Some of them. I mean, I do see people like Nick Snape that has a plethora of books, and he does big things, he does great things, you know, he's also great in the community. So he actually kind of hits a lot of that. He writes good books, he's a good dude, he's, you know, and he hits what you're talking about. So I think it can go that way, or you can write a plethora of underwhelming books and it screws you forever.
Yeah. I think the big difference between trad and indie, and this is someone who's only interacted with indie, is if you make it big in indie, you could make as much as a trad person.
You can make more.
You make more, yeah.
You could make more. You can make more. I'm thinking Stephen King levels of wealth.
Yeah,
there's only a couple of people. There's Stephen King, and then there's Brandon Sanderson. I think are the two like titans, and they went there with trad.
Sanderson's on the bestseller list, top 3 every year for the last 7 years or something.
But if you go into the trad world, you rising above all the other people and becoming a bestseller and making a lot of money isn't as it's not as easy. Whereas in the indie space, I think you can make it big, not as big as the big people, but more people make it moderately big than they do in the trad space.
You're also not held down by a trad publisher's whim. You're not at their every subject. So, I mean, I see some indies that hit it big, like they're winning the lottery every month. And I think, first of all, it's great to see. It's cool to see. And the space for indies has only grown. So,
well, I think one thing the one thing that really tells the story is that you see trad authors now going indie with some of their new books. And that would never happen if there wasn't a serious incentive for it.
That's true. Well, I think some people like having the perfect stuff too.
Yeah. They're in the perfect position to do it.
Right.
If you're a popular trad author, unless you have a contract, why wouldn't you sell direct to your fans?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You know, the most famous one is Michael J. Sullivan. He's like been indie forever, and he sells basically he goes direct to his fans all the time with everything. He's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
Very awesome. Okay, let's get into these covers. Let's see them. These are interesting.
Cover review.
Very, very different.
So, Mike, you're gonna have to tell us what this book is, because I don't remember. And there's no title, and there's no author.
So this is actually the name of the book is called Cryosurge, and it's the first in a series called The Annals of the Incident at Utopia, Utopia, something like that.
That's a
Okay.
crazy long series title. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
long title to not put on
That's
the
why
book.
that's why it's not on the cover.
yeah.
I'm sure when you open up the book, it's on the first page.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I chose this cover because of that. You know, it's a
Yeah.
really interesting drawing, but it has, you know, there's no title, no author, nothing. It's all on the inside of the book, and I thought that was a pretty interesting choice. What do you guys think about that?
Well, you got to rate it first, Mike. It's your choice. You got to tell us your rating first, and then we'll get into it.
Let's save our ratings after we're
Okay,
all
save the ratings.
done
Okay,
talking
Isaac,
about it.
you go ahead then.
I would love this cover if it had a freaking title on it.
Same.
There's even space for it. Right
Space.
there is where you put it. I wonder if the illustrator knew there wasn't going to be a title up there because he left space for it. That's where and then down at the bottom there's a space for the name and
On the
so,
fox, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a tree.
The bottom? No, it's definitely got a
fox.
tail.
You're
Yeah,
right.
it's definitely a fox or
There are
something.
two ears, no fox. Yeah. I mean, very striking, very fun. I thought, yeah. So I thought this was a comic book.
I did
when
too.
I first saw the cover. Yeah, I mean, it has great style. I love the artwork. I love the limited color palette. It's very muted. It's more muted than I would like.
Oh, see, I like the muted. I like the muted. It gives me almost Gladiator vibes, which I really enjoy. I mean, I love the cover.
I'm thinking of seeing it like in like the Amazon.
Oh yeah,
store.
that's fair. That's true.
It's gonna look kind of bland, you know, because it's.
Yeah, it could use something up at the top. Could use like something in the sky, some kind of color, or the trees could have been like a vague green or something, at least to set something off.
So the best thing about this book cover, in my opinion, is that it does create that question of what is this? There is no title, there is no anything. So if the art appeals to you, you're gonna want to know more about it. The downside is if the art doesn't appeal to you and you think it's a comic book and you're not into comics, you're gonna immediately pass it over. Or if you think it's a manga, you're gonna, again, you're gonna pass it over. So it's
I actually think it works against him in that way. I think if I picked this up, I would be thinking, oh, graphic novel, comic, something. And if I didn't get that, I think I'd actually be disappointed. I think it works against him. I love the illustration. I think it's insane. I love the fire. I love the grass in the back. I think it's eye-catching. I hate not having a title. Not having a title to me makes me not want to look at it for that reason. And if I picked it up without the title and it wasn't a comic, I would be twice as disappointed. I'd be like, not really that interested, sadly, even though it's great.
I hate being negative because I read his preview on Amazon. It was good. There's some good stuff there.
Yeah.
The issue is if I'm scrolling through Amazon, I mean when you're designing the cover for your book, it is your first ad that you're gonna have forever. And an ad tells you what it is, or at least it should. I mean, I'm sure this tells us exactly what this book is like. But unfortunately, it doesn't tell me it's a book. Right. If I'm scrolling through Amazon, because that's probably what I'll just if I see this in the wild, like on a bookshelf, like ooh, then I'm more interested. But that's not where the vast majority of people are going to see this. They're going to see it scrolling with all the other titles, and that one's going to like, oh, that one's unfinished.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wish there was like a bright bolt of lightning in the background and something in the grasses that stuck out with color and maybe a little bit of color in the fox or something. Just a little bit, but without the title, we do agree again. Without a title, I would think it's a poster scrolling real fast, and I just think I would lose interest, even though it's incredible art. It's something I would put in my wall, right? My wall of nerdom. I'd put it up there. But as far as picking it up as a book, it leaves me wanting a little bit. I give it.
It looks like a great, as you can tell, I love board games. It looks like a card in a game that great card back. That looks fantastic.
That's exactly what I thought too. The first time I saw it.
Mike, could you tell me again what the name of the book is and the author?
It's called Cryosurge, and it's by an author named Soulless Eddie. That's what he goes by.
Soulless Eddie?
Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, the guy looks like a Soulless Eddie. I would give him the name Eddie.
I give everyone watching, go check out the book on it. It honestly is.
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
So
I
do you
haven't read the
guys?
I only read the preview, but the preview impressed me. So go check it out. I mean, give this
Yeah.
the benefit of the doubt. I hope in the future in another edition he adds a title there because.
So I actually spoke to the author, and I
Mhm.
got the backstory of why he did not put any information on the front of the book. Do you guys want to know that before you give your ratings, or do you want to?
Oh yes,
It's not going to
absolutely.
sway my rating, but yeah, go ahead.
So he told me that the book is it's very not written in a more traditional way. It's kind of very experimental. It's kind of written in a lot of like journal entries and jumps around. It's very different. And he wanted this to be he wanted the cover to kind of be the signpost that this is not a typical book, and not to expect kind of like the typical novel experience when reading the book. Essentially,
I think he misses on that. I think you need to have an
You
expectation
could
of the book.
do a lot of things and still
Right.
have a title. Like if
Right.
if his title was going down the side or
yeah.
just doing something odd, doing
Well,
something
look at
strange.
what's his name? Luke. Is it Tarzan? Tarzan?
Oh yeah.
His title is very wonky and out of the place, but it works. You know it's a book. And the covers are also good. For
Yeah.
me, this is a 6 because the art is so good. If the art wasn't this good, it'd be a 2.
Yeah.
Because
Here's
no
other
title,
here's his other covers for his other. There are 3 books. So here's the second book. I
the
don't know
no
what it's
title
called.
kills me. Actually, I don't like this one at all. The canyon is cool, but
This
that
one,
moon looks like cheese.
this one is too noisy.
It's
This one's a little bit too
weird. The
noisy.
moon looks like cheese. The girl looks like a zombie, so I'm not. Maybe she is a zombie. I don't know. This one I actually give a 4 because the canyon is good, but the original one I give a 6 because the art is so good. But without a title, the author name, if you don't want your name on your cover, I don't care. But I need a title. I need to know it's a book. I need it to be presented as a book, and I do think it's too muted. This is the best out of all of them.
I like this cover a lot too.
This one's the best. I give this one a 7 because still no title, but the
Well,
colors are better. It pops
I
more.
would I would love to see these in real life because
That too.
I this so I think this one is yeah, we have some comments here. So before I give my say, I feel like one of
Oh yeah,
these
that's a
decorative border tiles would work great for this.
It would work good with some bordering. Some bordering would actually set it off good, especially with the muted tones.
yeah.
So if you look at this title, at this cover, we have that black border around the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a framed image. What is the rest of the book doing? Is it just
Oh, that's
black all the way
true.
around now? Because
True.
that's not going to look that great. So like this first one, I get a sense of what the rest of the book is doing.
That's fair.
It's kind of naturally going to black everywhere, and this one, I guess, I hope it continues around. It doesn't just terminate right there on the front.
I'd like to see the other side of the moon if it goes around. That'd be cool. Even though the moon looks
That'd
like
be
cheese.
interesting if the other side of the book was the opposite side of the. Now that would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be a fun thing.
My other issue is that there's room for the title on every single one of these. So each one of these, there's room for a title.
Absolutely. I think the illustrator was planning on letting him put a title there. Because if I was designing this image just as an image, I wouldn't leave a big empty space up there.
Me neither, because it's very droll, right?
Yeah.
Usually you see your title and it leads down to your image and you like to read it like that. With this, you look up and you're like, okay. And then you look down and you're like, well, the down is pretty good, but then you go back up because it's like, well, there's something missing almost, right? It feels like there's something missing as far as the book goes. So for me, my rating is 6, 3. Now that Isaac pointed out the black border, it bothers me more. I didn't even notice that. So like 6, 3, and 6. Barely a 6 on the third now, actually, because it really bothers me. Because now I don't know where it goes on the back either. And now I'm like, does it just fade to black and it's boring?
Like Mike was saying, these are experimental books.
Yeah.
He wrote them to be experimental. So maybe these covers are exactly perfect for what's
For him,
inside
yeah.
these books.
It's hard with these books because it's like, as a piece of art, I would rate these pretty high. Most,
Oh, yeah.
I would rate these really high. But as a book cover, I gotta take points away because it doesn't really convey that it's a book. And I know what he was trying to go for with
Mhm.
that. But it's like that's kind of the point of the cover, is to convey that
Yeah.
it is a book.
Exactly. And as much as I appreciate art, and I think they're better than Canva covers. They're way better
Yeah,
than Canva covers. They're
way better.
original. They're original. They are eye-catching. But as far as covers go, they just lack for me.
Yeah. Um, as book covers, I can't really give them a rating because they do not fulfill the requirement as a book cover for me. So I can't really rate them. As art pieces, I think I rate them pretty high. I
Yeah,
would say 7 or 8. Especially if you see this in real life, I bet they're stunning.
yeah.
But as far as selling, um, I don't. You you need to be popular to do this.
Oh
What
yeah.
we're talking about before, you need that popularity.
So I really wanted to have you guys check these covers out because um, the first time I saw this first cover, the one that's on screen now, it made me go check this book out. I actually didn't know anything about the books. I didn't know anything about it, but I saw the cover and I clicked on it because I wanted to know about it. Because, and I mean, but that's my personality. I was
I
like,
think you're in the
Mhm.
I think you're in the minor percentage as far as that goes, especially as far as the average consumer goes. I think you're in a very small percentage of people because I don't think this is proven. People want to know what they're getting into. They
Mhm.
right,
want, and that's what a cover is for. And if you're not delivering a title, and let's face it, even a title on a cover is important. If you have a bland ass title, a lot of people are going to skip it. If you have a title that they're like, oh, that's interesting. Let's see what it is. Let's look at the image. So if you're missing a title, you're missing a key component of consumerism. And like Isaac
Mhm.
said, if you're Stephen King, sure, you can say F it. I'll mess with everybody. I'll do what I want. But if you're not, it doesn't really work. Also, Mike Molman would like everybody to know that this is the best 55 minutes of a 30 to 45-minute show he's ever seen. And we are working
Where did
on
we
that.
say this was a 30-minute show?
I did
Where did
originally
we
say
say that?
it was going to be 30 to 45 minutes, but
Oh,
it's never worked yet. So we're still tweaking and formatting it. And we just figure you guys love hearing us talk so much that we just hate cutting the 15 minutes out for you guys. It's hard.
yeah, yeah. Well, I feel bad being so negative because I really do think this guy's work is worth looking at. Like
yeah,
his
for sure.
writing was good from what I saw.
Well, that's why it's hard. And we admit it's subjective. We admit that it's not going to be the same, but we're looking at this from an outside perspective of not only as writers, but as readers. We're looking at this as also consumers. We're looking at this as, and we all admit this art is pretty incredible. The second one I don't love still, but we admit this art is really good. It's original. It's great as an art piece. It'd be a great, you know, little poster. It'd be a great frame on the wall. It'd even be a great little coaster to set my tea on. But
Mhm.
as far as a book, like I said, if I pick it up and if it's not just a ton of images like the cool graphic novel, I'm gonna be like, well, what the hell? I've been misled. I would feel
Yeah,
misled. That's my issue.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, honestly. I think that, even though it worked on me, I don't think it would work on the vast majority of people. Like I said, I get what he was going for, but I think this kind of move, like Isaac was saying, this is something you save for a special edition.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, special edition
or,
would be fine,
yeah,
but and
or,
it's not Mike Moment approved. Just so everybody knows, it is not Mike Moment
yeah.
approved. Not that much is. So when something is, it's a big deal.
Yep, yep.
yeah.
But okay, I think that does anybody else have anything to say? That ends our show once again, about 15 minutes long because we're all long winded. But it's also the first time that all three of us have been on an episode together, just so everybody is
Hey,
aware.
That's true. That's true. Are there any questions from the audience?
Yeah, that's
Any
important.
questions from our Patreon? Oh, we don't have a Patreon. Any
Not yet.
questions from? Oh, no subscriber questions yet. I guess.
And have you all clicked subscribe and like and share
Click
and all the fun stuff?
subscribe.
yeah.
I'm gonna get a foam
Uh,
finger that says subscribe and be like, wow.
Do
I
that.
bet
Do that somewhere over here for
Yep.
link
there,
videos.
there has to be some kind of button I can press that'll make one of those things appear.
We'll figure it out
Um,
eventually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll add something like that.
No
But
questions. Nick Moment doesn't have a question. He probably went to bed.
Mike is asleep. we put Mike to sleep without
Asleep
a doubt.
at his computer, for sure.
Oh, what would it take, all of you, to shave your heads? Lice, maybe? Cancer?
I was gonna say head crabs, which I guess is lice.
That's one big louse.
Well, I got attacked by a dog when I was 3, so my head looks like Swiss cheese on the skin. So I do not want, and I also have really big ears in case everybody watching has not noticed. I have Will Smith level ears that when my head is shaved look like Dumbo. So
Wow.
I would take a lot. If I get 100 pre-orders on Flame of Alamandras by May 22nd, I will consider shaving my head.
I hear that. That sounds like a promise. Honestly.
Why are you up at 4 a.m. watching this show?
That's dedication, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you. But you can go back to sleep. It's okay.
I wouldn't even do that.
Unless you have to go do something, then you should probably go do it and stop watching the show. But I hope your commute or whatever you're doing is safe and enjoyable.
White powder. It's the only way I would be up at 4 a.m. Not that I do it. I'm just saying it's the only way I would be up at 4 a.m.
Yeah. I was last night at 2 a.m. There was a yowling cat outside my window.
Didn't you just move, Isaac?
Miami. That's just a process.
So didn't you just move, Isaac?
Yeah, this is a brand new house.
Oh,
the cat said, "Why are you here, homie? You're not meant to be here."
Couldn't sleep, and you just were wandering around YouTube and found this place.
Oh,
wow, interesting. Wow, YouTube is doing a good job. Did you hear the Eragon stuff? There's no news. There's no Eragon news. Is that why you clicked it? Because the Eragon picture? I'm curious.
Or is it because Isaac's beard?
Probably not. Probably not.
Tim, I think it's your face that's selling this for most of the audiences.
I think I should in the thumbnails. I should do a lot more of Tim.
A lot more of my face.
The thumbnails.
I actually thought I was gonna have a big pimple today because last night I had a pimple and I was like, "Oh man!" But
what I could do, you could take a picture of your face, like a really good picture, and then I can make it really, 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 really big. And so whatever's behind all the images I use to promote the podcast is your face technically, even though it's not quite discernible.
Kind of makes me feel like a podcast hooker, but I'm fine with it. I support it.
If Tim shaves his head, that's what we need to do. The shaved head Tim needs to be the image for all the promotional stuff.
Shaved head.
I just want to say that if I shaved my head, this would be a great head of hair to lose, and I would feel bad for the people that are balding that I would sacrifice my hair. But if I got 100 pre-orders, it would be worth it. Which leads me to plug myself because Mike Molman told me to do this. Fated Nights, my novella, just came out. So follow 4 dying men on their journey to death, but they take fate into their own hands. And also Flame of Alamandras, which is a dragon novel because we're talking about Eragon. It only makes sense. Thank you, Eragon, for paving the way for me. Is a dragon novel coming out on May 22nd. So give me those pre-orders, but I only want to get to 99 because I really don't want to shave my head. So if you can get me to 99, I will cut my hair and I will send a locket of it to Mike Molman.
Oh, that's precious. That's precious. Were any of you guys in Spiffbo? Did you guys enter anything in Spiffbo? Ever try that?
No, we went into the second-hand one. We got thrift shopping. Wait, yeah, both of us did, right?
Yeah, we were both in Ybor.
Ybor, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I entered Garden Maze into Spiffbo.
Nice.
Or one of them. I can't keep track of all the acronyms.
I don't
know which one is which.
We got into Igor's stepbrother. That's how I remember it. Ybor,
Igor and Ybor.
Isaac, I just thought about it. I've never seen you without a hat. You might already have a shaved head.
You'll never know.
He actually has a tattoo of my face on the top of his head. That's right.
It's a big Timothy Robert. It's actually a smaller Timothy Robert, like a bump. It tells
me the ears are not so big, which is nice.
No, the ears are gone. Actually,
I actually would be okay with that.
It was malformed, but it's definitely you. It's just no ears.
That makes sense. No, we both got. I think we both got knocked. You got knocked out too, right?
Oh yeah.
I got knocked out by Nick Snape. So to me, that's a win. I was expecting to get punched in the author gonads, and instead it wasn't actually that bad. And I lost to a great fellow author, and I'm pretty proud of that. And I'm pretty proud to even have been considered to go up against him. So, and I hope he wins because he kicked my butt. So I hope he wins the whole
yeah.
thing.
Good for you, man. I think the weirdest thing about competitions is when you get reviews and stuff that don't have a lot of negatives, and then you're like, so I don't have any idea why. For me, I don't have any idea why I got knocked out.
Well, I mean, those are hard to do because you got to pick one, and you're like, oh,
unless you're Mike
both
Mulvey,
good.
you just DNFs them.
or what if you're judging and you get 2 books and you didn't really like either of them, and you have to let one of them go on. And you go, I guess this one surprised me a little bit, or this one had a slightly better hook, and then you're kind of, I don't know.
Maybe your judge just hates Mike's. They were like, well, Mike's not a very good name, so let's pick the other one. Or
yeah. That's pretty standard.
See, I'd be a terrible judge because I'd be like, you get a 5-star.
Bloodbound.
Mike, you would hate me because I'd be, that's Trinity's, right?
Yeah, I've had Trinity on the other podcast.
That's a solid.
She's a great guest.
To lose to. Solid book to lose to. Trinity is also awesome. So,
yeah.
And probably one of the sweetest indie authors to exist in the whole space. Literally, just
it's hard to get mad when you lose to Trinity, I would imagine.
It's true. She's like probably the most pure, nicest person I've come in contact with on X, which is interesting. She's like the only one that's just like she's
in
so
all caps. I forced her to choose something from Lord of the Rings to change. That short did great on YouTube. I had people calling me narcissist in comments.
Oh,
I made some people angry.
That's why Isaac wants to show my face, because he's afraid to show his own now.
Can't mess with Lord of the Rings, man. That's you talk about a diehard fan base.
That's true. All I can picture is Trinity being like,
if you want to get views, you have 2 options: accuse a vast swath of authors of AI use, or say Tolkien was lazy for not doing 3 different covers for his original Lord of the Rings printing.
Honestly, the only thing I would have changed in Lord of the Rings, if I had to change something, is I would kill Frodo. I would have Sam have to throw Frodo and the ring into the volcano.
Oh. Wow. Mike, what would you change? You can't. My rule in the other game was you can't choose Bombadil. Bombadil cannot be touched, but you have to choose something to change.
That was my first choice.
If anything,
I know that's everyone's first choice. You can't choose Bombadil.
No, it's not my first choice. I would keep Bombadil and I'd make him more fun, but I would actually have Sam have to kill Frodo and sacrifice the ring all in one. Because I think it would just be super. And I know that's not how Tolkien writes, and I would not. Yeah. I know that
it would go grimdark at the end, basically.
Yeah, a little bit. I need a little bit more, maybe not GRM level, but I would like a little bit more turmoil, I guess.
I think along the same lines as Tim, I would have one of the main, aside from Boromir, spoilers for Lord of the Rings, I would have...
That's not a spoiler.
I was going to read it tomorrow. I was finally going to read it tomorrow. I've been waiting.
It's only a 70-year-old.
Hunt for Gollum finally convinced me to read them.
No, I would have one of the main Fellowship die. I don't know which one. Probably Pippin. One of the Hobbits.
I knew you were going to say Pip.
I think Sam would be the most crushing death.
Oof.
I don't think Sam can die. I don't think Sam could die, but I think him having to kill Frodo, I think Pippin would be an easy out as far as that goes.
He's the easiest Hobbit to kill.
Right, exactly. If anybody's going to die, it's going to be him, realistically. But I think if you're going like jarring, grimdarky, like I tend to go, I would have Frodo be off.
Gandalf dying again would be kind of interesting.
What would he come back as if he came back for a second time?
Yeah, I don't think you could kill him twice. That would be weird.
Gandalf the Striped.
Gandalf the Platinum.
Gandalf the Plaid.
Sure. Or gold. He'd come back just like in a whole thing of gold.
He's like
gold.
With a chain.
He's like dancing. He's got sparkles.
He's got like a shiny beard. Okay. We're rambling.
Yeah.
So you should all follow us, like and subscribe. We'll be back here every Monday. Well, actually, Mike will not be back here every Monday. He won't be here next Monday.
Yeah.
Sadly. He has to save lives and like fight fires and things like that. He has an actual like cool thing he does.
Yeah. And he wears overalls and he takes firemen. If we get 100 subscribers, Mike has agreed to do a 12-month calendar of him.
No, I have not.
Yes, he has.
Put that evil on me.
Of him in a fireman outfit. He's going to do 12 different pictures. We're going to make a calendar and we're going to send it to you.
They're not alluring pictures, just normal workday pictures.
Yeah. Mike
one like you're standing next to the fridge in the fire station. Maybe when you're outside of the fire station, the picture is taken from the other side of the street, so you're very tiny in the picture.
and then one with him with the fire hose, just doing this.
Yeah.
But outward.
I think calendar with your face on it would sell better, Tim. Personally.
I want you in a
Cool
tree.
when I play Dark
I
Souls.
want you in a tree looking down and smiling, like behind like a branch, and the picture's like taken like way down to the bottom of the tree. So look at. I want all the pictures of you being like far away, peeking from behind things.
I want a picture of you saving a cat from a tree. That would be a great calendar sell.
So this is gonna make this podcast go even longer. You know, we actually don't do that anymore.
You don't save cats?
So
That's not something you should tell people, Mike.
No, they come down on their own.
Oh,
yeah. It's a huge hazard because they usually will run away from you or like fall out of the tree as you're trying to save them. So now most departments don't do that anymore. They just say like, wait till they get hungry, put some food out, they'll come down.
More reason to get a picture. More reason to get a picture of you doing it.
On the farm in Oklahoma, we had a barn cat. He would run up to me. I'd pick him up and I'd toss him up into the tree. Grab one of the branches, and come on down, run back to me and wait. I pick him up, I throw him in the tree. So we would do this for hours. This cat loved to be thrown into the tree.
You guys are going to get us canceled. Okay, so like and subscribe. Thank you for coming to Pen and Dragon. And because Trinity brought this up a long time ago, and Mike keeps telling us to bring it up, Pen and Dragon is also due to King Arthur lore to Pendragon. So just so everybody knows, there's a lot of play that went into it. And that's it.
Can we talk about Once and Future King in another episode?
Yeah, why not?
You guys have read Once and Future King, correct?
Yeah.
Yes? Mike?
Tim.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't. I have to look
Sword
at
in the
it.
Stone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We should talk about King Arthur in general, but
yeah. You could also like throw like a small beanbag at them. That also gets them to move.
I usually just
to fall because it's a small beanbag.
Okay. Before Isaac gets us canceled for animal abuse, goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you.